Lord, please bless all the souls who are listening to us with your freedom and with your simple and strong love. Amen. In my Lord's Supper today, in my confession, the major theme was about legalism. Follow the rule as it is told you. No modifications. Extracting or adding nothing of your own to what was told you. I told the Lord, honestly taking time out to open up. The legalism entanglement is choking the life out of me. They say, you are not allowed to do this. You are not allowed to do that. No, you cannot do as you feel led and inspired to. Do as it was told you, to the T. No, you can't go and draw. Go tend to the ministry tasks. No, you can't use the time now to translate a message about condemnation, to put it on Facebook for others to be helped. Drop the idea. Do first the ministry tasks now. You have other things to do. No, you cannot tend to properly organize your journal. That's selfish and a waste of time. You have other important things to do. Pray or do ministry. No, no, no. Always the cliché response. Fear then creeps in and makes the soul not even want to go and ask the Lord for direction or confirmation, expecting that the Lord will be saying a constant no also. Confusion then comes in and bewilders the person, making her believe that it is proper what they say. Therefore she strives to obey the Lord's will. She doesn't even realize proper right from wrong, what is exactly the Lord's will and what is not. It goes to such a degree that it makes one think, what is the point? All these don'ts and restraints at every turn, at every little thing. Next, depression and discouragement threaten to overpower, causing my heart to distance itself from the Lord. You cannot eat this protein bar. You cannot eat that yogurt. You cannot buy this book of consecration to Mary. That's a waste of money. No, don't tie up your hair like that, in a simple bun or a simple braid. You must always wear it as was told you in the books of the religious. That simple braid is not Franciscan. That is worldly. Deny yourself. Then I become scrupulous and strive to obey. But in the end is all a cycle of being controlled and taken captive, as if being led like a dog by a leash. It becomes depressive. Shouldn't I know better? Why don't I know better? I should have known by now the Lord's heart, right? Yes, but oftentimes there is the not realizing very well up from down, and where the balance should be. Either I go too high or too low, rarely hitting the neutral point, unless sustained by the Lord's grace to uphold me in that neutral state. At times, though, I still do it anyway, the things I desire to do, despite all of this gamut of legalism coming against me. And after doing the thing I wished, they still attempt to confuse, insinuating maybe it was not exactly the Lord's will. And fear and guilt still attempt to bark and gain control even then. But after doing it anyway, if it was indeed within the Lord's will, and He was okay with that, despite the devil's barking, joy and peace of heart is noticed deep down. To aid me in the moment, He lets me see a heart shape somewhere around me, which helps and cools down that constant fear if I am within His will or not. So the Lord, after sharing all of this with Him and asking His forgiveness in the Lord's Supper, the readings, they landed on the theme of law and worship, which said as an introduction, "We are proud to be a nation ruled by laws and not by whims of individuals. There is much wisdom invested in our Constitution, and in most of our laws are well. But when we permit things to get out of control and do not let the laws work as was intended by the founding fathers, the country is in trouble. However, when the insight that we are a nation under laws prevails once again, and we let the system work, we recover from setbacks. Today's scripture deals with laws, devotion from them, and the reaction by a man who was concerned. We must be careful, though, not to regard God's commandments as mere civil laws. In our relation to God, we Christians see ourselves as in a family setting. The wish of a father who cares for his children is not a law in the same sense as a law found in our civil code or laws. We are related to God as children to a loving Father. There is one absolute rule we must go by, and that is love for God and neighbor. Other commandments derive their reason of existence only from the law of love, which is found in Matthew 22:40. And we should understand them in the light of Jesus' Sermon on the Mount, which is found in Matthew 5. Obedience to the commandments should always be motivated by love. The introduction concluded, adding somewhere else, in observing laws, we Christians should be motivated by love. We did not receive a spirit of slavery to fall back into fear, but you received a spirit of adoption, through which we cry, Abba, Father, which is found in Romans 8:15. So in the first reading, the Lord mentioned the 10 Commandments, which was a good reminder. In those days, God delivered all these commandments. I, the Lord, am your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, that place of slavery. You shall not have other gods besides me. You shall not carve idols for yourselves in the shape of anything in the sky above, or on the earth below, or in the waters beneath the earth. You shall not bow down before them or worship them. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, inflicting punishment for their fathers' wickedness on the children of those who hate me, down to the third and fourth generation, but bestowing mercy down to the 1000th generation, on the children of those who love me and keep my commandments. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord will not leave unpunished him who takes his name in vain. Remember to keep holy the Shabbat day. 6 days you may labor and do all your work, but on the 7th day is the Shabbat of the Lord your God. No work may be done on that day, either by you or your son or daughter, or your male or female slave, or your beast, or the alien who lives with you. In 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea and all that is in them. But on the 7th day he rested. That is why the Lord has blessed the Shabbat day and made it holy. Honor your father and your mother, that you may have a long life in the land which the Lord your God is giving you. You shall not kill. You shall not commit adultery. You shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his male or female slave, nor his ox or ass, nor anything else that belongs to him. And that was the end of the first reading in the Lord's Supper, the 10 Commandments. Then, in the responsorial psalm, which was Psalm 19, there was a verse which stood out saying, The precepts of the Lord are right, rejoice in the heart, not gloomy or depressive. The command of the Lord is clear, not confusing, something that bewilders, enlightening the eye, not snuffing the life out of you in a demanding way, as these legalism spirits make one feel. almost at every turn making me feel that I am slipping up and offending God with some kind of disobedience from my side. And those were the readings that stood out to me in the Lord's Supper. Then, through one of the books of Padre Pio, I was told, your imagination and the devil want you to believe that you are continually offending God and that you are always, or almost always, resisting divine calls. The vigilant grace of the loving Father keeps you at a safe distance from falling to such infidelities. And at that point, as I was reading, I had worship songs playing, and one song began, which is titled as Rise by Danny Goggy, which was fitting as a confirmation, as like saying, rise up from this. Padre Pio continued, be reassured at this point, I assure you, that thoughts like those are coming from your imagination and the devil. Guard yourself from giving them any importance. They have no aim than to cool down your feelings of affection toward the heavenly bridegroom and to trouble you about attaining Christian perfection by pointing out how difficult and impossible it is for you. And what is worse, these thoughts aim more directly to dry up or drain off whatever feelings of devotion are in your heart. He is right. That is how it felt with me. Then, through the diary of Saint Faustina, the theme of the reading was about to know you, O Lord, which made me understand that by coming to know the Lord's heart and character, personally and intimately, knowing someone by heart, you would instantly know what pleases him and what displeases him by instinct. Thus legalism grips will be destroyed. Recalling even how in the movie The Shack, which I had seen the night before, Jesus said to that man that he desires not religiousness, behave well, do good works, follow the rule, but that he desires friends, a family, who loves them, the Trinity, and comes to know the love of the Father, which makes them, the souls, free. That's all he wants. And a few days later, typing this message down, debating if I should make this a message or not, I said to the Lord that if he wanted it to be a message, he had to give me something of himself. The original version, which I had written down, was a mess of depressive complaining and frustration. And barely did I manage to finish the thought that a song begins to play again, titled Love God, Love People. Fitting the shoe of the message, definitely. Keep it simple. Love God and love people. The Lord is always trying to tell me that He is not how they say and see me to be about Him, with all the do's and don'ts. He is trying to make me come to know His heart, truly, so that any religious spirits, any legalism, any captivity or prisoner spirits will not have their grip on my life anymore. May the Lord give you great courage to persevere against any legalism spirits for those of you who are struggling with this also. And as a little side note, the Lord is wanting me to start a channel on YouTube. Therefore, I am starting one. It goes by the name of Theresian Petals. It has the same name as my website, which is to be released soon, hopefully. So I'll be posting most of the messages there on that YouTube channel. So you are welcome to drop by. Basically, I can say that it is not totally finished, the channel. I'm still working on it. And the same with the website. My website is gonna be mainly about the messages and the artworks that the Lord and I do together. And who knows what else He's gonna add over there. But the YouTube channel is there, so you can go and check it out as you wish. And yes, gradually it's gonna be more and more complete. God bless you guys. Until the next time.